Well, hello everyone. We don't have any background noise. Music noise. Maybe. There we go. Now we have some background music noise. I'm your host, Andrew Dukowitz from Zone Coverage, covering the Minnesota Timberwolves here. Threw me off all of my game not having my background music, but now we have it. And Terry Horstman is here, my friend, colleague on the Lynx beat, as well as hitting the hardwood. He is the it's the 9 now? Contributor at the 9, writer for the 9,
Lynx beat writer at the 9 basketball would be
Lynx beat writer at the 9 basketball,
title.
formerly the Next.
Yes.
But Terry, how's it going, man?
It's going really well. It's late here. It's just after midnight, but it's midnight on a now Tuesday morning. They say midnight's for the poets and the madmen, and I think we got a couple of madmen and poets talking about not a very poetic basketball game that we watched early, but we'll recap it, and by the time we're done, I think we'll see the Blue Jays and Dodgers in the 29th inning or something of Game 3. So all fun things happening. Mercury must be in Gatorade or something. It's a fun Monday night here, but I'm excited to be here.
And I mean, let's just be honest. Shohei Ohtani might have been walked 37 times by that inning of the Dodgers game. But
yeah, he gets a better whistle than the Nuggets do, I think, and that's pretty crazy. But
well, I mean, we have basketball to talk about again, which we haven't been able to do this since the Lynx season tragically came to an end. First, we're going to start this off with the Lynx question because I know we have Lynx listeners.
Right.
And
I don't think they want to talk about the Wolves after
the Wolves lost. They don't have ants. There's not a lot of fun there right now. But Portland doing an introductory press conference with their new head coach, despite not having a CBA in 3 days. Good choice or bad choice?
I think good choice. You got to control the narrative. Control the market, and the CBA, so it's still not, it's technically not a work stoppage until that deadline lapses. So I'm not super surprised. There is a lot of fun coaching carousel news in the WNBA, and you gotta strike while the iron's hot and get that coverage while you can. So I'm fine with it.
Okay. I just saw it today and I was like, maybe I'd wait until they have a new, like, that there is going to be a season next year before you introduce the head coach that doesn't have a roster for next year.
Sure.
But,
because it's going to be CBA questions and you don't want to answer those questions and can't talk about them. So it's fun, but yeah, I get it. It's I wasn't too surprised to see that.
All right, let's move on to Wolves stuff. I mean, Anthony Edwards doesn't play tonight. Wolves had a by all extensive purposes, like, good first half. Looked fine. Jaden and Julius were both playing out of their mind. We had fun Rob minutes. So Rob Dillingham fans in the chat, he made an appearance. And then the wheels just completely come off. I'm bringing it up here because their defensive rating in the third quarter was abhorrent, to say the worst. A solid 187.5 defensive rating in the third quarter, which, if you're not into metrics, like a good defensive rating is like 105 to 110-ish. So if you're 80 points worse than that, you're almost, I mean, that's horrible. Which I think met the eye test. I mean, Terry, what did you kind of feel like went wrong in that third quarter?
Is it a cop out to say everything? Because it felt like everything did go wrong, and the defense was awful, but also the offense wasn't serving the defense. I felt overall, like, we'll talk about Jaden a lot, I think, because Jaden did, by all intents and purposes, have a very good game, but there was a stretch in the third quarter that was like, it was like 5 turnovers in 6 possessions, 3 in a row, and that's the stretch where Jaden had 2 of his turnovers, and they were bad. They were like rookie Johnny Flynn level turnovers, like jumping in the air with no plan and hoping you figure something out by the time you come back down. And I didn't see like what Denver was doing to put the Wolves offense in such a funk like that. But the Denver offense was getting out in transition on like every possession, and the Wolves weren't making them take it out of the net at all. Julius the non-Julius minutes were bad, and Julius was on the bench because he had a couple of turnovers early in the quarter too. And it just kind of felt like they had no offensive identity and also zero interest in guarding Jamal Murray or Tim Hardaway Jr. And it was just one of those baffling Wolves third quarters that pop up more than they should for how good this team is. But that's really the only way. I'm not going to act like I have any kind of, profound diagnosis beyond that, because that's just the way I felt it kind of, went.
I mean, Naz Reid plays 7 minutes. Over his 7 minutes, a 193.3 defensive rating, 106.7 offensive rating for a minus 86.6 net. That's not saying all of the blame is on Naz Reid, but that 7 minute stretch kind of close the third quarter, that's where the wheels just came off. I mean, Wolves only have 3 assists in the third quarter. That is not ideal. They have 6 turnovers. Anytime you have a 2-to-1 turnover to assist ratio, that's not ideal.
No.
I mean, it to me, this was a game where, yes, it's kind of cliche because Nickeil Alexander-Walker had some of his best moments against the Nuggets. I mean, Grady's crooked teeth on braces joke. I mean, like, when I think of Nickeil games, most of them are against the Nuggets, but he had a way to just stick to Jamal Murray, make himself small, get around those pick and rolls, and just irritate the heck out of him. Mm-hmm. And I think, Mike is at a different age of his career, I think it's safe to say, and the Wolves don't really have anyone else that can just dodge those screens that way. So as the third quarter went on, a professor brought up in the chat here that maybe that's the second half of the second game of a back-to-back. Certainly fatigue can set in, but I just think the Nuggets just said, we're going to run pick and rolls until you stop them, and unfortunately they could not stop
until you have an interest in stopping them. And that's the frustrating part. And I was thinking even before this game that the 3 games before this were kind of just like emblematic of a team trying to figure out itself without Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And I say that in, like we all understand that players play their way out of teams and it makes too much money, and that's why the cap is there. And so I'm not trying to criticize the Wolves for not paying Nickeil what Atlanta did, but they haven't figured out how to play without him yet. And luckily there are 78 more games to try and figure that out. But that's the biggest thing. And then when that compounds with losing Ant this early as well, the guard play is just really lacking, especially with Mike's age showing and Dillingham having some fun moments, but either not getting the trust of the coaching staff or just reaching the confidence level yet to really put his best foot forward. And also, like tonight, just Dante not really being that ruthless on the offensive end of the floor. Like we're just kind of waiting for someone to put the scoring onus on themselves, and no one did. And I don't think it's any one person you can highlight, but you were waiting for someone to get hot and no one did. And I think even, it's difficult with Ant out injured, but I think you and Dane talked about it in the season preview episode of this podcast, where it's just like, if Bones is out there in clutch time, like something's wrong. And I have a lot of respect for Bones, and I've been a fan of his over the course of his career, but he also wasn't especially great tonight. And when it was like 5 minutes left and Bones was out there, I looked at the lineup and was like, sure, like fine. I can just go up and start getting ready to record. I don't think I need to watch the last 5 minutes here. And I did still, out of, respect, to be honest, but still, it wasn't like there was nothing that I felt particularly inspired by, and yeah, that just showed in throughout the second half.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I mean, the first half a lot ran through Julius. Jaden had a lot of stuff where he was just getting to the rim or making things happen. And then the Nuggets are a professional basketball team. They go into halftime and they say, how can we slow down Jaden and Julius? And I think part of that is there was a lot of bones in the second half. There was
A lot of bones.
Not quite as much like confident Dante running an offense, which I mean, when they're taking away Julius, Dante, his responsibilities get probably a little too high for Dante, which I mean, he always refers to himself as a basketball player. He doesn't have a position, love of the game, all of that stuff. But like, there is a best place for Dante, and it is playing off ball, whirling around screens with Julius hitting him. It's going to be hard this stretch without Ant. And I mean, if there is a silver lining, you're playing teams like Charlotte and Brooklyn and Washington's coming up, and the Lakers are going to be without LeBron and Doncic on Wednesday. I mean, this is going to be a
Luka's not
stretch
playing on Wednesday.
Luka is not playing on Wednesday.
Wednesday will be the first game I attend, and I'm honestly kind of excited about that.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I made the joke yesterday with Ryan Eichten on the post-game pod of like driving into the game as everyone was talking about the lights, and I was seeing Twitter kind of explode about how awesome the lighting is. I was like, oh, look at these nerds talking about the lighting. Like, what else do we have to talk about? It's awesome. Like, it's legitimately game-changing awesome.
I'm excited.
Like,
I'm really excited to see it.
I can't wait for like the Prince nights where they have all the purple going on. I can't wait for the Lynx when they come back, because they always have like really bumping like hype videos. Like, it's so much better. Like, they should have done this 15 years ago, but money. Professor asks here in a chat, Jokic is a problem. Did you guys see his final numbers? Yeah, they were a triple double is obnoxious.
Pedestrian for Jokic. He's just getting, triple doubles all the time. And yeah, it's 3 and 3. Is it even special anymore? No, yeah, I mean, he was sensational. And I hated it when they did this to Russ too, that just because like people were annoyed by Russ, that it seemed like society, maybe it was just NBA Twitter, which is a very small part of society, but a bunch of people together decided like, okay, triple doubles aren't going to be impressive anymore because we're annoyed at Russell Westbrook. And that has like just fell over the umbrella of like every triple double now. And, they're still making a big deal about it on the broadcast, but I'm like, what Jokic is doing is insanity. And it's so annoying, and he's so good. And it was just, I think it's easy to get frustrated by it, but I was trying to remind myself, oh yeah, the Timberwolves haven't lost a regular season game to this team in 2 calendar years. Grady brought that up on the broadcast, and I just really wanted it to extend a little bit longer. And, it's not, Nas has had a lot of good games against Jokic in the past, and Ant has done a great job on Murray. And it was just one of those nights where you just kind of need to, like, to quote, the game 3 of the World Series is happening right now, and Pedro Martinez is commenting on it somewhere where he said, "Got to tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies," and you just got to tip your hat to Jokic. Like, he was unstoppable, and I know Murray was kind of the shining star of the night, and but the Wolves really felt disinterested in trying to stop him. I felt the effort level in the post and just guarding. Like, I don't have like a reason to be mad about the way the Wolves attacked Jokic defensively tonight. Like, they did what they were supposed to do. When it comes to, the buckets that Murray and Tim Hardaway Jr., Watson got a couple of annoyingly wide open buckets. Yeah, but Jokic was just MVP Jokic tonight, and that's just the stuff that he does.
For people who don't have a stat sheet in front of them, 25 points, 19 rebounds, 10 assists. He only shot 10 times to get to those 25 points. That's obnoxious. Did not attempt a 3, 6 offensive rebounds, 2 steals, 1 block. I drew 8 fouls. I mean, he is just absolutely incredible. I mean, he's one of
the
the
8
players
fouls I have a problem with. I could probably rewatch those and be like, six of those were BS. But
I
yeah,
mean, I
Jokic
will say
on.
one of the hardest things pivoting from WNBA coverage to NBA coverage is realizing that the fouls are just different across the two leagues. It's you watch a woman
one league can't get a free
clothesline
throw
at
and the other league only shoots free throws, and it's
Yep.
like I feel like we should both be in the middle here.
They should really just like get together and have a meeting of like, how do we find a middle ground in between these two? But I mean, Jokic he was just phenomenal. Again, he's one of those players that if you've never seen in person, like he's worth the ticket price, and those ticket prices are expensive, which means we have ads to run, Terry, because I have to pay my mortgage, and this helps a little bit, as it does you, I would assume.
Yeah.
So ad time. Well, hello. Thank you, Livestream Andrew. This is Ad Read Andrew. And today we have Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, the presenting sponsor for the Missing Links podcast. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling strives to inspire people to follow their ideas, working with respect and understanding to create a quality, tailored result. Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, located in Blaine and serving in the North Metro area, is here to help you with your building and remodeling needs. I can say personally, thanks to Firehawk Construction and Remodeling, I have a beautiful deck in my backyard, and countless projects that I started, they finished. Get started on your new deck or remodel today by calling Isaac at 763-710-5686. And we're back with another ad read. This time for Pence Homes, the presenting sponsor of Hitting the Hardwood Network. From the best tools and technology to transparency throughout the entire process, Nate Pence and the Pence Homes team is the top choice for buyers, sellers, and is proud to support you and your home ownership goals. Get started today by calling 612-308-1122 or by emailing info@pencehomes.com. All right, Terry, the .com worked. That is the over for everyone who has been listening to this podcast for a while. I assume there's an illegal gambling ring going around on if Nate Pence's ad read finishes, as there is with everything in the world right now. It is 12:20 in the morning on a Tuesday, so we're going to wrap this up pretty quick. But Terry, I do want to get your thoughts on the Lakers game. Just this is the injuries and the players that are already listed as out for the Lakers. Luka, LeBron, Marcus Smart, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Jackson Hayes are all listed as out already. There's also something called Adu Thero, which I apologize. I am not familiar with the Lakers rookie games, but he has missed every game this season. I mean, 6 players already listed as out. I got to figure this is going to be a good one for the Wolves to potentially win.
Yeah, well, we'll see if Austin Reeves gets to shoot 85 free throws again. But, I think you and I have obviously been privileged to get to go to a lot of games in person. So I don't want to diminish anyone who, bought these tickets months ago, expecting to see LeBron and or Luka, now getting denied the chance to see both. But just as someone who gets to go to a lot of these games in person, knowing that I won't have to deal with watching Luka cry constantly in person, I'm kind of excited. I'd rather see what a Thero has evolved. And I've also always been the person too, even in the media space now. It's like I just want to see the Wolves win by 60 in the most boring basketball game ever, rather than try and rip my heart out of its chest as they've done so many times. So it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a nice chance at a get right game potentially. Don't want to overlook Austin Reeves, and fan favorite Jared Vanderbilt always seems to have moments against the Wolves. But I think what you're really looking for is just kind of trying to find something of an identity sans Ant, because we know Ant's coming back, and we also know that if you don't have Ant, in the stretch run, then a great stretch run is just not going to happen with this team. But you'd like to see the team give you a little bit more to chew on than they did tonight. And the Nuggets in that second half are just like, basically, we're just not going to let you play through Julius Randle, which is what worked against Indiana. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for. I'll imagine they want to get Julius involved early and often. And I don't know who on that team really is a favorable matchup for the Lakers when it comes to guarding Julius. So we'll see how the Wolves attack it. But it'll always be fun to be it's always fun to be at Target Center. I can't wait to see the lights in person for myself. It's Wolves Lakers and another night owl game. The Wolves only play 8:30, 9 o'clock games now. And I know you and I can stay up late. You work in nursing, so you just don't sleep, Andrew. So you're good.
I never sleep. It comes with my day job.
It's
either heartburn and chest pains, or I'm not sleeping anyways. So it's fine.
Right. I used to live on the East Coast too. Like I can hang, and so these late Wolves games are fine. But yeah, I look forward to a 7 o'clock game at some point. But since I work at a brewery some nights, I actually can make this game on time on Wednesday night. 7 o'clock game, I would not have been able to. So I'm excited.
I would also just second, like, it does suck when you buy tickets to go to a game thinking you're going to see Luka and LeBron, and who knows how much LeBron has left. And the Lakers only play in Minneapolis once this year. Like, that does suck. Like, I'm also not going to take away from people who spent their money to go watch a game like that. As Teresa says, win by 60. Like, that's a good way for the Wolves to make up for maybe that lost,
right,
kind of gusto that we're losing by not having those players in there. I mean, the other thing I'll say is, like, the Target Center is really trying to, the new ownership is really trying to put a lot of emphasis on, like, fan experience. So whether it's the new lighting, they have homemade pretzels here now. Every pretzel's made to order, which is phenomenal. Like, parlor burgers are awesome. Like, you already spent money to come to a Lakers game. Get a homemade pretzel, get a local beer, and just try to enjoy yourself here, because
Parlor has been there for a while. The homemade pretzel are new this Wolf season, so like that wasn't there during late season.
Okay. And let me tell you, they are.
I'll check it out.
Bomb pretzels.
Okay,
as someone who enjoys a good pretzel, like, so much better than the just rotating on the metal ring pretzels. So, like, that's all to just say, like, enjoy the game still. It's going to be a blast. Like, I believe they're wearing the tree jerseys again. There's nothing quite like DMX blaring in the Target Center. Like,
this is
it's a vibe this season.
For those of us who came of age, who were late 80s babies and earlier, of course, but just for those of us who came of age in the 90s, and like those Wolves teams were like kind of our earliest memories. I think I went to one pre-trees game, I think, maybe a couple. But yeah, this like me, like, I'm surprised at like how excited I was when I saw the floor for the first time. And I wasn't at the home opener, but when they posted like all the images and Ant in the trees jerseys, and just how thoughtfully done it was to have this be the city edition. I think they should be permanent. Like, I love all of the not regular Wolves jerseys the most. So, it's I really do hope they do the trees again on Wednesday. I give the Target Center changeover team a break and let them chill tonight and tomorrow. Maybe there's a concert or something, but just keep that floor, that parquet with the Wolves and the trees. I gotta see it.
When they finally announced the jerseys, I like audibly gasped seeing the press release. And then when DMX hit, I also audibly gasped, like, in my media seat of like, oh gosh, we're going hard to early 2000s.
Did they play? So like you've been at both of the games, right? Do they have the Kevin Garnett sort of call to action? Bottom level to the upper level. I want everyone out there see it, when like 20-year-old Garnett recorded that or something. Okay, that makes me happy.
They also sometimes play the like load the Uzis, get a couple of grenades that I can only hear.
What?
I can only.
They play that in the arena?
couple times. I think they did it once or twice last year. And all I can hear now is Kent Youngblood's chortle in the background, which kind of ruins it for me now.
Shout out.
Not that,
no,
I
that makes
Kent
it better
Youngblood,
for me.
like,
Shout out Kent.
Every time it's like, oh, Kent's not here.
The best context in the world is Kent letting us know that was him and like 2 other guys, and KG was just that turned on for that interview. And Kent laughing in the background, and today still being like, because it's funny. It's funny. If they play that in the arena, I'm losing my mind officially, especially there in a non-media context. If I'm there with a credential in the press area, I'm buttoned up and I'm internalizing everything.
Yeah, you're so much more.
I'm not there as a writer on
fans.
Wednesday,
25 minutes in, when it is Terry sitting between me and Sneaker Reporter at Lynx games, he is by far the professional to me and Travis.
That's when the English teacher comes out of me, and I'm like, class, pay attention.
All right, Terry, I am going to call it. Thank you for joining me at 12:30 in the morning. Anything you have to plug? Anything coming out over at the 9? Anything W related?
Yeah, we got like Lynx Happy Hour will continue to be a weekly show, at least for the foreseeable future. So go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. It will be a crazy offseason for the Lynx and the whole WNBA, and just had a great episode with my colleague Jackie Powell about sort of all things WNBA finals, the coaching carousel in the WNBA, and a lot of other stuff. And there will be more episodes, and I think we've got some fun stuff coming out for later in the off season. And then I've got some Wolves things too cooking that I can't talk more about. There'll be more written content, but if you want, go ahead and just Google Taco Bell Quarterly Malik Sealy essay, and you will find an essay by me about Malik Sealy, the Timberwolves, and Taco Bell. And it's what I'm literally most proud of anything I've done. So
that's where Terry comes in clutch. He's like Malik Sealy, Timberwolves, Taco Bell, and tying that all together as only an English professor can.
If you want to laugh and cry in an essay that includes the Timberwolves and also chalupas, like, yeah, Taco Bell Quarterly, Malik for the win. It's issue 2. Yeah, you'll find it. It's online somewhere, free to read.
This is why Terry is one of the best out there. I appreciate you coming on at, again, 12:30 in the morning on a month. What is it? Monday? I think it's Monday. Gosh,
it's now Tuesday. It was Monday. It is now Tuesday.
For everyone that tuned in, appreciate you all. This will be up as a podcast tomorrow morning over at the Missing Wolves. You can find us on YouTube at the Missing Minnesota Podcasts, or if you just Google the Missing Wolves, it now shows up. We have hit the threshold where it exists on the Googles.
Yay, let's go.
Thank you everyone for listening, and we'll be back on Wednesday.